Ms. Diana and I were just talking to some colleagues earlier today, and there are areas in Trinidad and Tobago, and Roger, you could attest to this, that Town and Country is not going to approve anything under 5 acres. No matter what, they are not going to approve anything under 5 acres as the smallest delineation or the smallest subdivision, depending on where your land is. Or you might get you might be able to say we have clients who normally 5,000 square feet is the smallest. However, if you could prove that the plot was there before time memorial, in terms of before 1972 when Town and Country was instated, you can get them to approve even smaller than 5,000 square feet, even if you have to go to the appeal board. So the short answer to that second part, the process to subdivide, there is so much information that we need. But long story short, once we have that information, surveys are done. And once the surveys are done, those Town and Country application is issued. So that's the first part. But the first part is can you acquire? Let me ask you a question like this. I would switch it over. Can you acquire Town and Country with no cadastral and the house already built?
The simple answer to that is no. Town and Country is very clear on their guidelines, right? To submit building plans, proposed building plans, you ought to submit a copy of the deed, a copy of the survey plan, or it could be called survey plan, it could be called cadastral plan. It's more or less slightly different, but it's more or less the same, right? Town and Country will not approve drawings, design drawings, whether the drawings is as-built drawings, as-built meaning what you are describing there, right? A building already exists, right? Now, if you're submitting drawings for a house that is already exists, you submit it as they call it a retention. That is the proper name.
That's the terminology.
Term that they use. It's considered a retention. So yes, you can submit a house that is existing. However, what I could tell you is that the draftsman or the architect or someone like myself will have to measure the entire house, right? Part of that process will be trying to understand, get a feel of what the foundation. So you may have to dig in one or two spots to find out what type of foundation, but measure the entire house and submit the drawings as a retention, right? However, they will require to submit a survey plan or a cadastral plan. If you don't have one, and then you will need to engage a land surveyor to produce. Now, let me just say something very important here. All survey plans need to be approved by Town and Country. All survey plans. Their clients doesn't know better, and they think that
they get a surveyor to just do a thing.
When a land surveyor, no, it is of the belief that when they hire a land surveyor to produce a survey plan or a cadastral plan, it is of the belief that they could use that survey plan or cadastral. It is a false impression that survey plan was approved.
Right.
It could have instances where it even was registered by Land and Surveys. Land and Surveys at the top of 𝗥𝗲𝗁 Street here, right?
Right. So I wanna interject.
Yeah.
I wanna interject here quickly because we on the last webinar we started speaking about it, and I want to give a little air for it this afternoon, right?
Yeah.
There are a couple agencies that work. And we're not hearing you, Ms. Danielle. No. Nope.
We're not hearing you.
but there are a couple agencies that work together. Well, should be working together, but they're very, very siloed. We're talking lands and surveys.
Yeah.
We're talking warden's office.
Yeah.
We're talking legal affairs. We're talking town and country planning.
Yeah.
/ regional corporation. Because I know town and country planning and regional tend to work together.
Yeah.
They tend to work together.
Yeah,
So I would put them as one category.
Yeah.
But the warden's office is in charge of your payments. It is actually under the Ministry of Finance. It's a different arena altogether. It is under the Ministry of Finance. That is why your great-grandmother's name is still on the deed, even though you probate the deed, even though it passed down to you, but your great-grandmother's name is still in warden's office, and you can still pay taxes towards that. But that does not mean that it is in your great-grandmother's name, and vice versa. Your name might be there, but that don't mean that it is that you have title for it.
Yeah.
So that's the warden's office.
Yeah.
Then we have lands and surveys. Lands and surveys, bless their heart, and we thank lands and surveys for all that they do. Lands and surveys is not responsible for your title documents. Lands and surveys, go ahead, Mr. DeCosta.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. No, all I said was correct. Yes.
Yeah. So they're not responsible for your title. Lands and surveys will especially the LSA will help you in terms of your if you're on land that you're trying to get a adverse possession for, or if they plan out the country in more or less as to what area they're going to zone for this particular type of construction or this particular type of dwelling, whether agricultural, commercial, and so forth. Lands and Surveys has its own. Yeah, we're not hearing you at all. Check your mic. Press. There's a knob on your screen that looks like a microphone. Click it. There's a knob on the keyboard, not on the screen, on the keyboard itself. That looks like a microphone. Yeah. Yeah, you see it? Click it. Nothing.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yes, there it is.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Great.
Right.
Apologies.
We're talking about the horseman, Miss Danielle. We're talking about the
Right.
the town and country division, the lands and surveys. We're talking you could even throw in Board of Inland Revenue today.
Yeah, I wanted to, it's the 6 horsemen essentially.
Yeah.
And it ties in well with a question I saw Jesse Ragu ask. And I do see a lot of new listeners here who were not here for a couple of webinars before. So let me just clarify this very clearly, because he asked, in order for financial to approve loans for home construction, what approvals are required? A nice question. But generally, if you're looking for financial approval for purchase and mortgages, financial institution wants your documentation to be in order from all these 6 major government administrative bodies, and they essentially affect the title and efficacy of what you do have, right? So, of course, to me, I will start off with legal affairs. Ministry of Legal Affairs is your top priority, the most important place that you need your final documentation to be registered. And in order to be registered, you need to have documentation from all these other bodies, because if you have anything lacking here, the Ministry of Legal Affairs is not going to register your title document, right? So this is your last stop and most important stop, because you want your title to go through. However, in order for that to happen, you need town country approvals. Legal Affairs is a lot more particular with RPO. If your lands are under the Real Property Ordinance and you would like to do subdivision and register the subdivided portion of that into its new title, you need town country approval for subdivision. You don't need it for old law. However, you should still get it, because registration of unapproved lands, even though it is possible. Under the common law system, it is very problematic, and we are trying for you all to discontinue that practice because it affects the value of your lands when you have it unapproved, save and accept if you just want to plant cassava on the property. If you don't have the plan to just use it for agricultural purposes, unapproved lands is problematic, even though it will be registered in legal affairs under the old law. I hope that is be able to
That
be
big
understood.
and it's so because people don't, right, and it's also so because there's a lot of people. I don't know about Miss Danielle and Miss Eddie Costa, but I don't have the $500,000 or the $1 million cash in my pocket to pay. And most likely, if I'm buying land, I will have to go to a financial institution. Financial institutions, while you may have title, hear me? While you may have title, financial institutions care about town and country approval as well because they are managing their risk. And so you will not get through. Or if you, unless you know somebody in the financial, I don't know. But for all intents and purposes, it will be difficult to get approval for financing for land that is not town and country